we're underway and left Hanya after spending 3 days there on the dock. Great town, great village. Really enjoyed it. A little bit after sunrise, and we are sailing along here well. So we go around a point up there, and then there's another opening of a bay. We sail around that, and we're going out to an anchorage on the sort of very northwest tip of Crete. We'll spend at least a night there, maybe 2 nights, until we get favorable weather to cross over to the Peloponnese Peninsula. But wonderful morning here. We really enjoyed our stay in Hanya. Great place to explore, lots of history.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey darling.
Hi, I'm Karen, and my husband is Tom. Welcome to Life 4.0, where we share our experiences of living aboard Sea Rose, our 44-foot sailboat, while we travel together to new and exciting destinations.
We were up a little bit late with a neighbor boat, a couple people off of that boat that were from Belgium, and a couple that were doing a charter, crew charter. So they had a captain on board their boat and 4 of their kids. But we had a very enjoyable chat with them. Learned a lot more about Belgium and other things going on in the EU. It was very nice to have some social time with them. Just it was a little bit late. I think we got to bed like at 2:30, so we knew we had to leave early this morning, so this was a little bit of a rough start. We're trying to get going early so that we can avoid higher headwinds later in the day. This wind right now is very favorable. We go around the point up here, and we're probably going to be right in the wind and have to motor for a while. And so we're taking advantage of the wind we've got now, taking off from Hanya.
Here is the northwest point of Crete. We're just getting ready to round it. We have pretty big seas today. We're motoring because we're right into the wind, and we're just going to curve around this corner and anchor below an island down there. We're hoping it's not going to be too rough, but right now we are slamming into some lovely big seas. It's been a little windy the last few days, so it's picked up a fair bit of seas, and it goes from very deep just off Crete to obviously land. And whenever you have that big of a change of water depth in a short distance, you get a lot of waves. So yeah, confused seas this close to the land. Some of it's probably bouncing off and bouncing back. It just sort of makes a really sloppy, messy sea. So yeah, sort of a crappy trip, but we'll hopefully, it's supposed to be really beautiful when we get here. So whoa, oh my god. Gee whiz, that was quite a huge splash over our whole bow. This is a dramatic landscape. It really feels like Land's End out here.
Pack our bags and get in that car.
Over here on the right is the island of Gramvousa.
Real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty.
We're just watching the ferry traffic here. These are passenger tour boats that come to the island we're at on Gramvousa. This one came in just after we put down our anchor and kind of came close to us. But they maneuvered really well. They went over and picked up that orange mooring ball, which has a really heavy hawser on it, and they tied that on their bow and then maneuvered the boat stern to the dock upwind. So very impressive. But this other ferry boat or passenger boat looks like it might be coming in here as well, and it looks a lot bigger than the Gramvousa Express. So let's see what happens here. now we have the Gramvousa. I think it's like twice as long, 84 meters, than the other tour boat that was about 40 meters long. So they've got a ramp down in the front. Actually a very modern looking ferry ramp down the front, and that's good news because maybe we'll just drive straight into the dock there and not have to pick up that mooring line. But this thing is gigantic. It's unbelievable for this little tiny island. I have such a big ship coming in here.
It does have an anchor back there.
Yeah. Now they're like they're way off left of the dock. Looks like they're going right into the rock. They must have some other place to put the ramp down. They're not going into the concrete quay. I know. Yeah, they're tying off there.
Look at the line of beachgoers. This place is nearly devoid of human life until these two large ships allow their passengers about an hour on land each before they're called back aboard by horn blasts. We waited until just before sunset to go ashore, and we had the island almost all to ourselves. Listen to this crazy wind. The angle, though, is nearly perfect to leave us well protected in the lee of this high land mass.
We're tucked in with the stern line out, so it keeps us in. The ferry comes and picks up that little orange ball in the foreground there. It's a huge ferry, so we don't want to be swinging into its way, so we put a stern line out to keep us out of the guy's way. But we're rocking. We don't feel like we're rocking that much when we're on the boat, but it's sort of a gentle little roll. Very cool place. We're going to walk into that fortress up there.
Alright, we're anchored at a place called Gramvousa, and one of the attractions other than the place we're at right now is a place called the Vamos Lagoon, and it is down over there in the distance. The tour boats that come here either go there first and come here, or vice versa. They kind of switch around. We're trying to get over there before everybody shows up for the day, so we're gonna take a dinghy ride over there, bring our snorkel gear, and see what we can discover. You don't hear the word lagoon very often in Greece. It sort of reminds me of the South Pacific, so it's intriguing enough by its name alone.
Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty with the wind blowing in your hair.
Here's looking back at where our boat is anchored. It really looks funky from this side. You can see how flat the top of that land is. And here's the lagoon over here. Seems really bizarre to see umbrellas here. But I guess that's because the big tour boats are coming soon. Some chapel on the hill.
Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside.
The colors in the sand are breaking up here, so it looks like the pink is larger little rocks, larger little grains of sand. And they sort of rise into the surfaces. Pretty cool. You can see the wave actually coming across here.
Come on now and take my hand. Yeah, we only get one life. I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand.
Even though it was well before noon, the winds were already picking up, so we got in a quick snorkel, then headed back to the anchorage. It was time for our next activity, exploring the fortress, which sits on the highest part of the island, 137 meters above sea level.
Imagine a world where we all belong, where no one's left out, dressed in our finest, walking the walk. Ooh, imagine what we could do. Happy days be our guess, happy days manifest.
We're partway up to what they call the Citadel, which is up here. And you can see over the horizon. This is the main part of Crete down over there. Our boat, you can't quite see it, but it's down near that shipwreck. And then there, the lagoon is around the corner. But it's a lot of steps coming up here. Getting our oxygen this morning. We have a little bit left to go. Yeah. Oh boy, they are. Thick balls. Oh yeah, jeez. Huh. Pretty cool.
Kind of wonder if these are bubble holes.
I know.
Or something.
Maybe little guard lookout. Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
There's where we came in. It's one of the first cloudy days we've had here. And there's always a cloud on top of that peak over there. There are rooms down below here. So somehow they built a couple stories here. Or at least one below to be protected from the weather. And then one up here that's a lookout. And it may have been, sometimes they do them in the periphery near the walls. So it may have been on the inside here. You would get to the rooms below from doors out here in the middle of this courtyard that maybe has just been filled in over time. You can see for a long way up here. Yeah. Oh wow, pretty. Huh. There's the dock where our dinghy is. Sea Rose over there. And this is looking pretty much west, a little southwest. So we'll head out of here tomorrow, this little opening out there. And head over to Kythera. It's considered one of the South Ionian Islands. Wow, long way down. Eek. So we can't quite figure out what that house down there is. It seems like it's maybe for caretakers or something, but there's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 guys hanging out there. They were laughing and shouting into the night, so they were having a jolly old time. It's pretty cool. There's all these solar panels on the one roof, and they have a fishing boat on the dock, so somehow they get their provisions. Pretty neat space. Way down there in the distance on that little point. Down there is another little lookout. So no one snuck up on them. I'm at pretty much the north end of the Citadel right now. Definitely less built out up here, but certainly a place that you need to keep a lookout. Probably more difficult weather up on this side. And it's, the approach would probably be from the lee side of the island, which is where we're all anchored. Just because it's possible to do it where the outside of all of this is just cliff. Up here and show the cliff. You can hear the surf. Yeah, oh cool. Wow. Yeah. Gee whiz, that's beautiful. This is really quite something. This is a point right here, the point of the Citadel. Here. Wow. Out over the edge. Oh, and there's the drone flying by. Hi. He's probably looking at me.
Sure enough, he did spot me. I do love the perspective the drone videos provide. Here you can see the distinct points of the Citadel. You can appreciate the sheer cliffs that the fortress construction workers had to contend with while building the walls. The Venetians built this impressive castle between 1579 and 1584 for the protection of the entire northwest Crete. The fortress passed into Turkish hands, then back into Cretan stewardship. It was then given back to the Turks after a period of being known as the Pirate Island in the 1800s, and then handed back over to Crete as part of the liberation of Crete. Ah, the history makes your head spin.
Happy days be our guests, happy days manifest. Let's stand together, put a smile on our faces, fill us up with your grace and make us better. Dress us for all weather.
Okay, final activity for this fun-filled day, snorkeling over a shipwreck. You can see here well-preserved bags of cement that settled into this watery grave after deteriorating winter weather in January of 1968 caused the captain to divert from his original course to seek shelter here. The intended destination for these 440 tons of cargo was Northern Africa, but that wouldn't come to be. The boat's crew put out 2 anchors, but one chain broke in the heavy seas, and though the captain tried to keep the ship off the rocks with the ship's engine, he ultimately wasn't successful. Everyone on board was able to get to land safely, but the ship would not move again.
crowds when the big ship's in. There's a whole bunch of people down this path over here. And here's the big, huge ship. Almost all the shirt that's drying up there.
If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to get notified of new videos. Ah, what a place. We were back on board, exhausted but very happy. Join us next time as we depart for Kythera and then on to Peloponnesos. Thanks for watching.